If you take nothing else away from the whole week, become an energy fanatic. Okay? It's all about energy. You've got to work out who are the people, places, things, and activities that energize you. You've got to work out what are the people, places, things, and activities that drain your energy. And you've got to learn to manage the flow of energy in your life. Because energy is the whole ball game. You know, latter part of the 20th century, obsessed with time management. And time management's good, and time management's necessary, but time management doesn't differentiate from the guy next to you. Time management is permission to play. You want to play at a high level? There are a few things that give you permission to play at a high level, and time management is one of them. You want to differentiate yourself at a high level? Energy management. You got to learn to manage your energy. Because your experience of life expands or contracts according to how much energy you have. Okay, think about that. That's not a small thing, right? Your experience of life, okay? Your capacity for life expands or contracts according to how much energy you have. It's a big thing. Yes or yes? It's a big, big, big thing. Your capacity for life expands or contracts according to how much energy you have. Here's the problem. Most people are tired most of the time. I say it again. Most people are tired most of the time. If you say to people, okay, take out your planner, written or electronic, whichever you like, show me the last day on your calendar, the most recent day on your calendar, where you woke up in the morning 15 minutes before the alarm clock, so energized to get out of bed, so excited to jumpstart the day, get a jump on the day because you beat the alarm clock by 15 minutes. Most people wouldn't even remember the last day. You know, they had an experience like that. Why? Most people are tired most of the time. Most people are tired most of the time. If you're taken prisoner of war, what is the first form of torture that will be used on you? Sleep deprivation. Why? Anybody know? Yeah. When you're tired, you do things you wouldn't ordinarily do. But more than that, when you're tired, you betray yourself. That's what they want you to do, right? When you're taken prisoner of war, the people, they want you to betray yourself. Okay, in your company, in your team, in your country, and whatever, they want you to betray yourself. When we're tired, we betray ourselves. The reason is because fatigue makes cowards of us all. Yeah, fatigue makes cowards of us all. When we're tired, we turn into cowards. Think about it. Sometimes you've got to have a conversation with somebody, right? You know you've got to have a tough conversation with somebody. Could be a child, could be a spouse, could be a significant other, could be an employee, whoever. You know you've got to have a tough conversation with somebody. And the moment comes and you realize this is the moment when I should have this conversation. But you say to yourself, I can't be bothered right at the moment. There's too much going on. I don't have the energy for that. I just can't do it right now. And you let that moment pass. And you know what? That moment never comes back. Because what happens? Well, the next week when there is a chance where you do have some energy, you think, I can't bring it up now because, I mean, it happened a week ago. And if I bring it up now, he'll think I've been thinking about this for a whole week, which I have, but I can't have him know that I've been thinking about this for a whole week. So I'll just let it go. What happened? You turned into a coward. Why? Because you were tired. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're starting to get a bit tired. You're not hungry, but you see those candy bars sitting on the shelf? It's harder to say no to that candy bar when you're tired. Yes or yes? Yeah, it's harder. Why? Fatigue makes cowards of us all. Fatigue leads us to betray the best version of ourselves. That's just the reality. How's your energy level? If you work nothing else out this week, you better work out how the heck you're going to flood your life with energy. You want to build a bigger future? You need more energy. Can't get more time. You get 24 hours, I get 24 hours, you get 24 hours. Everyone gets 24 hours. It's one of the great equalizers in the human experience. But some people do an awful lot more with their 24 hours. Why? They have more energy. Most people come home from work every night. What do? They plant themselves in their lazy boy recliner chair in front of their 127-inch idiot box with a six-pack of beer and a 300-ounce bag of Doritos. Why? Because that's how they want to spend their life? Wrong. That's the only thing they've got energy for. And we completely misunderstand energy in our culture because we'll say stupid things to ourselves like, oh, I've got to watch a little bit of TV and relax. That's crap. When was the last time you got up from in front of the television set with more energy than when you sat down in front of the television set? When was the last time you got up from in front of the TV and said, I'm all relaxed and I feel like working out now? Wonder if the gym's still open. Doesn't happen, right? You got to learn to manage your energy. 4 levels of energy. First level, depressed, exhausted, burned out, defeated, and overwhelmed. We all experience that from time to time. We never want to, but we do. Second level of energy, angry, fearful, anxious, defensive, and resentful. We all experience that from time to time. We never want to. Third level of energy, mellow and serene. We've heard about that. We read about that in a book. Fourth level of energy, confident, joyful, enthusiastic, and invigorated. Confident, joyful, enthusiastic, and invigorated. How often do you want that? All the time. What sort of people do you want on your team? People with fourth level energy. Who do you want as your customers if you could choose them? People with fourth level energy. Who do you want as your neighbors? People with fourth level energy. Who do you want as your friends? People with fourth level energy. The whole world's attracted to fourth level energy. Who are the most successful salespeople on the planet? People with fourth level energy. Why? People like being around people with fourth level energy. People buy things from people with fourth level energy that they don't even need. Why? Because they just like being around the person. If you get a phone call from someone who's angry, fearful, anxious, defensive, overwhelmed, and they say, let's go out to lunch. You know, I want to sell you some insurance. Probably not, right? Confident, joyful, enthusiastic, invigorated. And places have energy too, right? What sort of energy has your office space got? What sort of energy? Depressed, exhausted, burned out, defeated, overwhelmed? Angry, fearful, anxious, defensive, resentful? Confident, joyful, enthusiastic, and invigorated. What sort of energy has your team got? If I got all your team in one room, what sort of energy would it be? When someone picks up the phone in your office, is it confident, joyful, enthusiastic, invigorated? Or is it depressed, exhausted, burned out, defeated, overwhelmed, angry, fearful, anxious, defensive, and resentful? Because that might be the whole ball game right there. Got to learn to manage your energy. Flood your life with more energy, you'll have more successful business. Guaranteed. To the extent that you create more energy in your life, you will have more business in your life. Guaranteed. Absolutely no obstacles for you in this regard. 3 questions. How do they connect? Well, when you look at the things that truly make you happy, what do you discover? And I'm talking about happiness, right? I'm not talking about pleasure. Pleasure and happiness are not the same thing. Our culture thinks pleasure and happiness are the same thing. Our culture wants to sell you pleasure as a substitute for happiness. But pleasure and happiness are not the same thing. So what is the difference between pleasure and happiness? Well, pleasure cannot be sustained beyond the activity producing it. You got that? I don't know. I'm suspicious of some of you people. Just sort of looking up here, you know. I don't know what you're thinking, you know. I mean, I know what the women are thinking. No, I really do. I really do. I can read women's minds. The women are thinking, great accent. Doesn't matter what he says as long as he just keep talking. He could read me the phone book. The guys are a little bit harder to read, but not that hard. The guys are thinking, man, what I could get done with an accent like that. Come on now, focus in. Focus in. Repeat after me. Pleasure cannot be sustained beyond the activity producing it. I give you an example. When we eat, we feel pleasure. Yes or yes? We stop eating, the pleasure stops. That's why we don't stop eating. Come on, we're not hungry. 75% of the time when we're eating, we're not actually hungry. Our little stomach says, excuse me, I'm full down here. We say, you shut up, this tastes good. We just keep eating and eating and eating and eating and eating. We're not hungry. We just like the pleasure of eating. Pleasure can't be sustained beyond the activity producing it. Happiness is different to that. Happiness is different to that. Give you another example. You come home from work one day next week and it's your day to work out. I mean, whatever day that is, right? But it's your day to work out. It's that day of the year, you know, and you think to yourself, I don't really feel like working out. That's a shocking revelation, isn't it? So you're going to make a decision. Are you going to work out or Or are you going to plant yourself in your lazy boy recliner chair in front of your 127-inch idiot box with a 6-pack of beer and a 300-ounce bag of Doritos? You think, whoa, that's a tough choice. You think to yourself, I wonder which one will help me become the best version of myself. The beer or the Doritos? So you don't really feel like working out, but you force yourself to work out. Force yourself to work out. Funny thing about that is, whenever you get done working out, you're always glad you worked out. Whenever you get done working out, you're always glad you worked out. Even if you had to force yourself. Why? Happiness can be sustained beyond the activity producing it. Think about all the people on your team, okay? There's a spectrum of engagement. Okay, at one end of the spectrum, if you think about all the people on your team, some of them are really passionate, purposeful, 100% engaged. Yes or yes? But most of them are not 100% engaged, right? Most of them are not 100% engaged. Maybe some are 85% engaged, and some are 60% engaged, and some are 15% engaged, and some are 12% engaged, and then you got the Q&S people. I call them Q&S people because they quit and stay. They quit, but they stay. You know, that's a problem. You don't have quit and stay people really in Vector for too long, because if you quit, you don't get paid, you know? Like, that's how it works. You can't really quit and stay in an environment like this. But they quit and they stay. You know, in the ordinary world, you talk to quit and stay people. You say, how long have you worked here? Oh, 20 years. When did you quit? 16 years ago. I remember it pretty good. It was like this Friday afternoon. And like I just said to myself, I quit. I just said it to myself. I didn't say it to anybody else. Just to myself, I just said, I quit. But I kept showing up to work. They quit, but they stay. These people are toxic. Yes or yes? Absolutely poisonous. You're trying to get something done. These people will prevent you from getting any good thing done. Okay? One of the things we discover about the highly engaged people that separates them from the massively disengaged people, highly engaged people operate out of a happiness principle. Disengaged people operate out of a pleasure principle. Highly engaged people, when they operate out of a happiness principle, they're willing to delay gratification in order to build a bigger future. I say it again. They're willing to delay gratification in order to build a bigger future. Disengaged people aren't willing to delay gratification. It's all about instant gratification for disengaged people because they live out of a pleasure principle. You need to get people on your team who live out of a happiness principle, who are willing to delay gratification in order to build a bigger future. If you come up against people who operate out of a pleasure principle, you've got to manage them into a happiness principle. If you can't manage them into a happiness principle, get rid of them. Because they will drag you down, they will waste your energy, they'll waste your time, they'll waste your effort, they'll waste your resources, they'll waste everything that's worth not wasting in your life and in your business. Highly engaged people are willing to invest. Here's the thing, like if you could take, anyone hear about the marshmallow experiment, 4-year-olds? Marshmallow experiment? I think it was from MIT or one of the big universities. About 25 years ago, they did a study where they had these 4-year-olds come into this room and sit with this scientist. And the scientist said, listen, I'm going to put a marshmallow on the table here. You can eat it right now if you want to. Okay, you can eat it right now if you want to. Or I'm going to come back in 5 minutes. If you wait till when I come back in 5 minutes to eat it, you can have 2. Okay? Now, the kids that did that experiment have just graduated from college. Okay? Just graduated from college. The ones that waited for the second marshmallow scored off the charts in every area of excellence in their life over the ones who wouldn't wait. Do not link your destiny to people who are not willing to delay gratification. Don't do it personally. Don't do it professionally. It never works. If I had to choose one thing that is more likely to determine the success of a person than anything else, I would choose their ability to delay gratification. If you don't have it, get it. If you do have it, increase it. Nothing is going to impact your ability to succeed at anything more than your ability to delay gratification. You know, you want to be successful in a marriage? You can't do it unless you're willing to delay gratification. You want to be successful in business? You can't do it unless you're willing to delay gratification. You want to be successful at raising your kids? You can't do that unless you're willing to delay gratification. You want to be successful in your personal finances? Not unless you're willing to delay gratification. You want to be successful in your health and well-being? Not unless you're willing to delay gratification. Nothing will impact more